Welcome back. I know someone's relieved to finally see the four of us on the screen on a Wednesday night. That person would be Jake Thomas. Joining Jake is Jeb, Steven, and I'm Corey Burton. This is SEC After Dark on the Bleav Network and y'all's conference network on the video side. We are presented by betonline.ag. And we got an action-packed show. So is Bill Bryan going to find the O in Boston? Or is he going to remove the O's from Boston? So is he going to be residing in Boston? Because there's no O's.
Trying to get Tim Brady back.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Trying to get 46-year-old, trying to get geriatric Brady back. Will Stetson Bennett get drafted? We'll talk a little bit about that. The transfer portal is closed. The coaching carousel that keeps spinning. It doesn't matter what time of year that is. But we got a lot to talk about, action-packed stuff, still lots of football. So I'm excited, guys, and just want to let you know, though, BetOnline still remains your number one place to make all your sports bets. They have the latest odds, lines, futures, things like that. Lots of things to bet on, props, great props. So think about that come Super Bowl time. There is a promo code. You do get a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. All you got to do is use that promo code Bleav. And if you use that promo code Bleav, you will get that 50% welcome bonus. It will be on your first deposit, and you can make millions off your free $50. So it's going to be great if you don't listen to me on the bets. You'll be a millionaire in no time. So, guys, let's get right into it.
Yeah, we got Michael Specs that says, I love this show. It doesn't show up on the chat right now, and I wonder if I might have messed something up, but we'll see exactly how it goes. Hey, Michael.
Yeah. Hey, Michael.
Hey, buddy.
We can't see you, but hey.
We had a Weezer fan reach out to us earlier on Twitter. Yeah, that was fun. He said he likes our show, but once we get too much into SEC chatter, he turns on Buddy Holly's. So I guess he listens to that on repeat.
Oh, I just listened to
Buddy Holly.
Yeah.
Hey, you're Mary Tyler Moore.
This is way too early for us to go down this road.
Steve, it's never too early.
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
But this guy tunes into SEC After Dark and doesn't want to hear any SEC chatter. That's God, how dare us talk about SEC sports? Crazy.
Yeah, apparently we need to label things better. People don't understand. Locked On Ole Miss is about Ole Miss. SEC After Dark's about the SEC. I don't know.
We just got to do a better job of labeling. That's on us. That's on our. Yeah,
it's a branding error, I guess.
This right here might as well say Homer.
Yeah. It does. Yeah. It should. Yep. So, man, it's a great day. Is anybody going to beat Alabama in basketball?
Mississippi State's doing it right now.
They're looking good so far. I don't think it's going to last. But
did some people get suspended? Did y'all hire Mark Fox or Tom Crean for a game?
I don't know. They're down 10 right now.
He's the only one that's got the secret to beating Alabama, honestly. I don't know how that was, but pretty impressive. Yeah.
Well,
lose every other game.
Doesn't have it. And that's Kermit Davis. Yeah.
Maybe MTSU
they are really bad this year so far, man.
I got to check on the Dogs, man. They got off to a pretty good start in conference. I don't know if we're falling apart or not, but
didn't watch them tonight at all.
I did not.
Oh, they just got stopped by Tennessee.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, 70-41.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well,
it was a good game. Good game.
They only scored 19 points in the second half.
Yeah,
that's not good.
They had the worst look. Every shot they had, everyone I saw was like in and out, just around the rim, right out. It was amazing.
Guess it wasn't our night. Well, it could be worse. We could be losing every game, but I guess if you're going to get killed, I guess Tennessee is. I don't know. It's not good to get killed by anybody, but who we kidding here?
Well, Tennessee avenged their loss in football. At least they did on the basketball court. So
well, it happens, right?
Yeah.
So. And then, Ole Miss. I know the feeling, Steve. Don't worry. I know the feeling of having bad, irrelevant basketball.
They haven't won a conference game in over a year at home.
Wow.
True.
Yeah, I know that feeling. It's
Yeah.
not a good feeling.
It's not a good feeling at all.
No, that feeling is quite bad, actually.
It is the definition of it is what it is. You're like, yep, exactly.
We got a mid-major coach who's in over his head. It is what it is.
Is that the same as the definition of what is?
No, that is what people were asking what the 96 Olympic mascot was.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
I think was the question. Because it was named What Is It? Like all one word. And then they shortened it to Izzy because people were like just completely dogging it.
Yeah. Because it was silly. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did something to the chat. So
Uh-oh.
sorry about that. Yeah.
Well, if you want to join in on the chat, Steve will relay your message via smoke signal.
Yeah.
So
I
John,
just-
sorry, bud.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in the chat because basically we had an issue the other day with trolls that hit one of my live streams, so we bumped up security for all these streams, and
Okay.
there's people coming in and chatting, but it's not showing up, and I think I might have done something. So
Was it
Either way.
was it the porn bots that were coming through?
No, it was something else.
Must
Okay.
have been corn.
Like actual trolls, like
Yeah,
people.
actual trolls. Like in the good old days that we used
Oh yeah, those trolls.
to have.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That sounds fun. So who'd you get as security? Did you get Stone Cold? Did you get The Rock? Did you get Jason Bourne? Who's the security?
Now we're subscriber only, and you have to be a subscriber for 2 weeks to post.
Oh, okay. So Jason Bourne.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Hey. That's pretty impressive. They got past Bourne. Well, they had to subscribe for 2 weeks, so they listened.
No,
to 2
no.
weeks worth of-
This is new. Before they had to
notes.
subscribe for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Now it's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
no, still okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
2 week waiting period for Locked On Ole Miss, man. It's serious stuff around here.
Yeah. Seriously.
And SEC After Dark. So John, sorry, bud. He got knocked out by Jason Bourne. It's okay. He got processed.
I think he's a Facebook person, so I just don't know. Like I said, this is the first time I've dealt with these security things, and I could have messed some stuff up. But it's not the first time it's happened. But whatever.
We'll
It's
get
all
straightened
good,
out.
man. It's all good. So let's talk about Bill Bryan.
Bill Bryan.
To New England. So
Bill Bryan.
Bill Belichick doing a solid to his buddy Nick Saban. Said, "Hey, you know what? Hey, we're on Bill O'Brien here. We're gonna take him off your hands there, and
Thank
play
you.
some football. Some good ball plays here.
Having
Next
a
question.
defensive coordinator for an offensive coordinator didn't work, so we'll try and upgrade to Bill
That
Bryan.
made no sense.
Having a career special teams coordinator and a career defensive coordinator as your co-offensive coordinators." I guess that was a recipe for disaster. Who would have thought it?
Right.
Like Mac Jones was unhappy. I don't know why. It's weird.
Yeah, I wonder why.
A little frustrated. I don't know. Worst offense in the league.
Plus, he got killed every play.
Jake, who's it going to be? Who's the replacement? I've heard Jeff Lebby was talking about, but that makes no sense.
No, that would be terrible.
Yeah, it come out late last night that Dan Mullen is a no, so we can go ahead and get that out of the way. So thank God for that.
Yeah, I saw
Lebby, he's been in talks, or there's been talk about him. Not sure really. The people who I want is still out there, but
Matt Patricia's available.
no.
Is
Let's see how
that Mr.
went.
Smee? Wait a minute.
Yeah, but
Mr. Smee.
Steve, is that Mr. Smee?
Yes, that's Mr.
Yeah.
Smith.
I'm sure. Nice. That's what his wife calls it. I love it.
Mm-hmm. But of course, Joe Brady is a name that's been brought up, and
He's not going to recruit.
right. So and I made a comment on, we did a live show the other night, and that's what I said. I said if you get Joe Brady, one or two things is going to happen. Nick Saban tells him to go out there and recruit, and he's going to recruit because you're going to do what Nick Saban tells you to. Or you bring him in just to be your offense coordinator and bring somebody else in to do all the recruit for you. Because we talked about it before, how you have the people in the background, like your assistants and all that.
Jake, isn't that a waste?
How many?
Is Joe Brady that good?
I don't
know. That you would do that?
I don't know. But
I don't know if Joe Brady would work with Saban. I mean, like mesh. I don't know if I'm not saying he wouldn't work with him. I'm saying I don't know if they'd mesh.
I don't see that being I don't see that being a fit. I really don't. I just he's an NFL guy. He wants to be in the league wherever he can be. He doesn't want to recruit. I mean, that was the whole reason he left LSU. He didn't want to recruit.
Right. So it's just a name that's been brought up. Another one, of course, is Cliff Kingsbury, but you'll have to buy his plane ticket back to the States because, and
it looks like he's taking a break.
Yeah, it looks like he's having loads of fun, which I don't blame him. Some of the pictures I've seen,
The right offer, he might come back though.
Right,
Coach
GQ, man, he could get back into college, recruit. Mm-hmm. He'd be a heck of a hire for somebody. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where he ends up or if he wants to stay in the NFL or not, but he would be a heck of a hire, man.
Another NFL guy, which I have not seen anything about or been in talks with, but who I would love personally, is Brian Johnson with the Eagles. I mean, look what he's done to Jalen the past couple of years. So, but of course, he's in the NFL. So why would you come back to college? And
he's a Dan Mullen protege,
right? So that's the only other issue with that. So
I hear Todd Downing's available. I hear he's out there. He might need a job.
So,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good names out there. There's some up and comers that, he could go the Dion route and go look at, a group of 5 head coach and say, hey, do you want to come to Alabama and be offensive coordinator like he did with Lane Kiffin?
Hey, Kirby. Hey.
So what's up, Kirby?
What about
defense coordinator? I think is the one that we got to hit a home run on. That's just my personal opinion.
Wonder who the options are there.
Jeremy Pruitt.
Yeah, Jeremy Pruitt. Yeah. There was a article quote that come out today that said that an insider believes he's going to get cleared by the SEC. I don't know if that's true or not. So,
yeah, I wouldn't put too much stock into that.
I'm not. So I would say Jeremy Pruitt.
If Hugh Freeze can go to Auburn, Jeremy Pruitt can go to Alabama.
No, I mean you got a point there. You got a point there.
I mean, does Nick Saban like him that much?
Yeah. Yeah. Him and Saban's been good friends,
He's another guy where Saban gets to be the nice guy. Just let Pruitt be the asshole.
Yeah.
There goes our clean rating. Damn, Steve.
Yeah.
How far do we make it? 10 minutes?
Hold on. Close enough. 15.
You beat my record. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know where the options are. There's a lot, like I said, there's some up and comers. And I think this position can be also even more so than the offensive coordinator. I think this position could be somebody that is good, but needs a little push, a little toolage. And I think somebody that would benefit from being under Nick Saban because, with what Georgia did with Glenn Schumann, they kind of just brought him along under Kirby.
Yep.
And then Kirby's doing the same thing. He hired a veteran guy to be the co-defensive coordinator with Will Muschamp. I could see Nick Saban doing something like that where he has an up and coming guy, maybe somebody that's already on staff, and then brings in a veteran guy like a Gary Patterson or somebody just to come in and run the just to come in and help because Will Muschamp has coordinated plenty of great defenses, and you have the two blending concepts of new and old, and it just worked for Georgia.
It worked out well.
And so you got to find the right mix. I mean, you can't just get 2 random guys and say, okay, hey guys, work together. That's not going to happen. But if you find the 2 right guys to pair up, I think that would be good.
I will say one of the more underrated hires so far, for Alabama was getting Austin Armstrong from Southern Miss. I think that's going to work out real well because he's done a lot with that Southern Miss defense. I mean, it was one of the worst in the league until he took over.
I mean, he could end up being like the Glenn Schumann of the group where he's kind of he has a bigger role. Instead of just being a position coach, he has a bigger role.
Yep.
It's not quite. He doesn't quite have the keys to the defense. Well, really, I mean, nobody really does under Nick Saban, but
Right.
nobody truly has the keys like he did with Lane Kiffin for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And like he did apparently with Bill Bryan. So I don't know. I think it's more. I think it's more crucial to hire the offensive guy to hit a home run there, because you want to give somebody autonomy on that side of the ball. You want to be able to give somebody that freedom.
They're in the chat just desperately trying to get me to talk positive about Ole Miss basketball.
Is that easy?
You can do it. Come on.
All right, Steve, repeat after me. I'm positive that Ole Miss basketball stinks tremendously.
Right now, it does stink tremendously. I am positive about that. Oh, here's a positive thing. The pavilion is really nice, and their indoor facility is nice.
They have cool uniforms.
They have cool uniforms. Although I'm not a fan of the men's basketball's powder blues. But I think the throwbacks are absolute fire. The next coach, if he doesn't make them the primaries, he's doing something wrong.
There you go.
You think they will part ways with Kermit?
Yes, I don't. It's gotten to the point where every loss just adds a little bit of weight, and before long, it's just too much to lift. And I mean, they're 1-7 in the SEC right now, with like Kentucky and all. They got work to go. They could easily put up a 3-15 this season.
You're seeing a coach you're seeing it happen live. I mean, you saw it a little bit last year, but you're seeing it really. He's getting swamped under right now. He's getting overwhelmed, and he's in over his head, and that's glaringly obvious with Kermit.
They're playing hard. The kids are playing hard. They're just.
It's just not there. It's just not a fit. I mean, Kermit Davis is not a bad coach. You don't get the Ole Miss job for being a bad coach. It just sometimes you get in a situation and you bit off more than you chew. Like Mark Fox was not a bad coach. He got Nevada to the NCAA tournament several times and competed. You saying goodnight, baby, to me?
No, just
that's so sweet. You saw you saw him getting to the tournament with Nevada, but you can't do the same things you did at Nevada at Georgia. Mm-hmm. You see that all the time. Like you see guys, Conzo Martin at Tennessee, like he was successful enough to get offered that job, and then he completely fell on his face. And is he at Missouri now? Is that where he is?
No. Conzo got fired. Another guy this year.
Okay, well that's probably why they're good. So I mean, you see that everywhere. Like everybody's hired somebody that's in way over their head, and then on the flip side, you take a chance on somebody like that. Like you hire some guy from Providence, and he ends up winning 2 national championships in a row for you. University of Florida with Billy Donovan. Rick Pitino going to Kentucky from where he started out at Providence too. I think.
Yeah,
nice little pipeline to the SEC.
Yeah,
there.
Seriously.
So like you see that, and unless if Jim Herrick didn't cheat, he would have been pretty good at Georgia.
Yeah, if a frog had wings, right?
Yeah, if a frog had wings. You know how the saying goes.
If my grandmother had Willis, she'd be a bicycle. So
Yeah. Other than that, how was the show, Mrs. Lincoln?
Love it.
And Kirby, yes. If you didn't see when we first opened the show, I was doing this when we was talking about Bill Bryan going to New England. So it's a party down here.
I thought you were just cramping really bad and needed some water.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning, I'm on the Locked On Auburn podcast, and I talk about Jake Thornton and I talk about Austin Keys, and they're not going to like either one of them.
Ooh. Cassidy.
Time out.
Okay.
Time out. What? Hang on.
Yeah. Nobody's even talking about Ed Reed up in this bitch.
Right. Yeah. What this is turned.
Yeah, this thing's flipped over.
Yeah. I need Becky talking about him, about Ed Reed in here. Come on now.
Yeah, voice of God, get in here. Quick, save Jake.
Yeah.
Are there any good OC candidates for Bama? Yeah, we named a whole bunch of them, but I bet you it's going to be somebody like what Sean Lewis was. Like nobody expected Sean Lewis to go to Colorado. Like nobody.
if you're looking for fit for what I think Alabama wants to do, I don't know his name. It's slipping right now. It's a senior moment, you know. But the offensive coordinator, Andy Ludwig at Utah.
Oh no, don't no.
Mm-hmm.
No. He's perfect in the Pac-12. Jake, you don't want that.
Mm-mm.
You don't want that. Last time Andy Ludwig was in the SEC, granted it was at Vandy.
Yeah, it's at Vandy. That don't count.
It was it just
Vandy's
didn't look
in the
like
SEC?
it didn't look like they knew what they were doing.
That's like
Well,
saying,
that's Vandy. I mean,
yeah.
Like it didn't look like they were even trying to know what they were doing. Like,
But
sometimes Vandy is competent and just fails.
Yeah, you put him in Pac-12, they're back-to-back Rose Bowls. You know, that style of offense works. And if Alabama wants to play murder ball, if that is what Alabama's wanting to go to, that would be a fit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, it's I don't know. I'd be hard pressed. Like it's a different league, man. It's a different league. It looked like there's some people that work at Vandy that that it's just a talent gap and they have good schemes and like at any other place their stuff would work.
I mean, James Franklin's the only one that ever made it work. Honestly,
maybe he figured out something. I'll say that I'll give him that chance. Maybe he said, okay, here's what went wrong at Vandy. Okay, maybe everything went wrong at Vandy. So I'm gonna try something different. Like he was basically him and Matt Canada must have went to a jet sweep clinic during that time, and they said, okay, we're just gonna like run the jet sweep like crazy.
Alabama's had that because Lane's been their coach.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm talking like Matt Canada style. Like Lane is a little bit more diverse than that. Lane like has some patterns that he goes through. Like Lane can actually like flow an offense together. Like this was like one of those. Hey, you go to a clinic, you get an offense in a box. Here, give it a try. Like that kind of thing. Like I hate those. I think
Matt Canada's the offensive coordinator of the Steelers now, isn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, ask any Steelers fans their opinions on Matt Canada.
Yeah, that's just a weird fit. I didn't think he would make.
He's failing upwards. He's failing upwards. Like he's been fired from like he went to NC State, flopped, and somehow got in the NFL, and just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
He must be a heck of an X's and O's guy. You put him up on a chalkboard, he must be able to draw anything out.
He wins the interview, I guess. I don't know. Like you ask any, you can see the Pittsburgh play. Like Pittsburgh has gone down offensively, and they still have the same level of talent. Like
that also has to do. It also has to do. Yeah, the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, even his. I mean, he got old, but like.
Yeah.
Them trying to shoehorn Kenny Pickett. I told. Oh, by the way, I was on the Locked On NFL Draft Show last April, and they asked me about the quarterbacks. I said, if any of the quarterbacks play this year, you'll see them in the XFL or USFL because it won't be good. None of them's ready. And by goodness, am I about right?
But Matt Canada did nothing to protect Kenny Pickett. Is my point. Like he did nothing to protect. Like you have things in place.
It wouldn't have mattered if he was protected. And now I'm not calling him Malik Willis now, who had.
I mean, look at what San Francisco's doing with Brock Purdy.
No, that's different. That wasn't one of the first round quarterbacks I was talking about.
I know, but scheme matters in the NFL.
Oh, by the way, let's talk about Brock Purdy because this is making me ill. Okay? There's this big thing that Nick Saban said that Brock Purdy didn't have the arm strength or the accuracy or whatever to play quarterback at Alabama, and then there's an offer from Alabama out there to Brock Purdy. It's complete bunk. They're just using the fact they're like trying to make an offense like Michael Jordan would do or those guys. And it's not real. It's not real at all. And these things online, they're almost slanderous at a point, but if it mattered for Saban, but it just bothers me.
Yeah, I mean, I think people making up reasons it just makes no sense, honestly. It really doesn't. I mean, Brock Purdy's good, and coming out of high school, he may not have been a fitted out. I mean, he did have an offer, but you never know. It could have been one of those offers that Nick Saban was like, okay, well, we got some other guys on the table, like it's yours if whatever. But you don't know like the levels of these offers.
Oh, by the way, watch the Polynesian Bowl, and I learned how to say Nico Iamaleava, his name.
Iamaleava.
Iamaleava.
Nico, I'm a believer.
There you go.
There we go.
Nico, I'm a Mahamaha.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like the NFL Network commercial where they're like TJ Hashmazili.
Yeah.
TJ, who's your mama?
Yeah. And I want to go back to the Brock Purdy thing real quick before we turn it into NFL at the dark. But San Francisco's got a real issue on their hands coming up next year. Because which quarterback do you play?
No, they don't.
No, it's Brock.
Yeah,
it's Brock. They don't.
They need.
They don't.
Jimmy G probably get traded, and Trey Lance probably going too. So.
Yeah, Trey Lance, future Memphis Showboats legend.
How much
Trey Lance is backing up Jordan Love in Green Bay.
Didn't they trade 2 or 3 first-round picks for him, though? That's a lot of capital. 3.
Yeah.
And they're just going to give him – because they're not going to give another first-round pick for him.
In the same draft, they got Mr. Irrelevant. And people that don't understand football, they're like, oh, they call him Mr. Irrelevant. They just call him that because he's the last pick of the draft. It's not a real thing. Right. If you get drafted, you get drafted.
They call him that because nobody's watching the draft at pick number 2, whatever.
Yeah.
255 or whatever.
Yeah.
I part of me is hoping for any Super Bowl that is not Kansas City and San Francisco. But I don't know if I want a Cincinnati versus San Francisco because we've seen both of those. So San Fran is out. So maybe a Philadelphia versus Cincinnati.
No. I think the Eagles are going to make it.
No Philly.
I think they're going to make it, though.
They're going to make it.
They're good, but no Philly. I don't want Philly.
I don't particularly want them to win either, but.
I mean, who's going to beat them, though? Because, I mean, the Eagles have offense and defense. They are the most complete team I've seen in the NFL this year.
The 49ers defense might be good enough to stop them, but I don't know. It'll be a great game.
It'll be a good game.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game for sure.
I just do not want the Chiefs to and out of all of these, the Chiefs and 49ers are the 2 teams I don't want to win the Super Bowl. So I'd be completely okay with a Bengals-Eagles Super Bowl.
So why not the 49ers?
Because I am scarred from childhood with the San Francisco 49ers. As a Saints fan, I sat there and watched them in that division for 12 years with Joe Montana and Steve Young.
Steve, you're a Saints fan. Everyone beat the Saints in your childhood. So
yeah.
And they still are.
But the 49ers were the ones
you hate the entire league.
The Saints were up on the 49ers, I think, 28 or 31-0 at halftime and lost the game.
Yeah, the 80s Saints were awful.
Oh, it was terrible.
As was the Falcons.
That's kind of what happened to the Colts this year. They was at 36 against the Vikings, wasn't it? And the Vikings come back and won 33, I think.
Who's quarterback? Matty Ice.
Well, there's your problem.
Steve, you and I have something very much in common with the 2 franchises that we call ourselves fans of. They are both, up until recent memory, perennial losers.
Mm-hmm. At least the Aints is a thing. I did tell myself I'm not doing that again. So they can either figure it out as a franchise or call me whenever they fix it.
Yeah, I'm about that point with the Falcons.
Yeah, I am not
too old to go through that again.
And I'm not going through that Saints period again.
And the Titans almost had me hooked. And then the Falcons and the Titans are neck and neck. So next year is going to be a battle year. Who gets it right? And I'm hearing Lamar Jackson may be going to the Falcons.
I've heard that that's a possible destination. Yes,
that might change some things for me.
Yeah,
that might say, "Hey, we're trying to figure this thing out."
Yeah. The thing about mine and Jeb's NFL team, the Titans, we were like 2 yards away from winning a Super Bowl. And that scars me every time.
I remember that. I was a
God.
freshman. I was a freshman in high school when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being at a Super Bowl party going, "Oh my god, Titans almost
Okay.
won this thing."
Jake, okay, Corey, I'm about to hurt your feelings. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
But you can't say you're 2 yards away from winning the Super Bowl whenever you're talking to somebody in the screen that was up 28-3 in the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, I mean,
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I was actually rooting for the Titans in that game. I was just as disappointed as they were.
I
Oh,
guess the
that
greatest show on turf.
Although that Rams team was fun to watch. But no, I can't talk to anybody about Super Bowl losses. I'm revoked from that.
Yeah.
I can't either, really. We
That-
went
that's-
once, won once. We're all good.
Yeah.
That was a fun game too, though, against the Colts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yep. I do too.
That's so back
Screen
and forth.
pass
too.
to P.T. Quuza.
When Sean Payton was like, "You wearing the spikes? I didn't think so. Get them in spikes."
The future Denver Broncos coach, Sean Payton.
Oh,
Oh, you
my
think
gosh.
so?
If he goes there,
they need a quarterback.
yeah, that was a disaster. I mean, okay, so
I
we're
think,
about to
I think
figure
he
out.
would make Russ. He would make him all right.
I was gonna say, what
We're-
happened
We're about to
Russell Wilson?
figure out if it's Russ that fell off a cliff or if Nathaniel Hackett was just that incompetent.
Right.
Yeah.
It was
Which-
Buddy Hackett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think it's going to be the latter, but I'm hearing Jerry Judy's going to be off. I think they're going to trade him.
Mhm.
I think he's entering his last year in his rookie deal, and I think they're going to trade him and get some value for him before he demands like tremendous amount of salary. So while they can still get something for him, I've heard the Bears might be trading for Judy.
Really?
That'd be
Give
interesting.
Justin
Yeah.
Fields. Yeah. So this is still SEC after dark. We're talking about SEC players here for the most
Oh,
part.
yeah.
yeah.
Right,
That's true.
yeah.
That's right.
Although before we do that, Lovie Smith of the Houston Texans will always be the GOAT for what he did. He knew
Yes.
going into the last game of the regular season he was going to get fired. And he took the number one pick that the Texans have, went for two at the end of the game, won the game, and cost the Texans the number one pick. If you're going to
Yep.
fire me, double birds out the door. Lovie Smith will always be the man.
I love
That is
that, man.
awesome.
Yeah, he
That
got
is awesome.
he got screwed big time.
Mhm.
They gave him a well, now that our clean rating's already gone, they gave him a shit roster. And then he's like, "What do you want me to do with this?"
Yeah.
And what
David
had
Mills
the number
at
one pick is they
quarterback.
kept-
David
Oh,
Mills
yeah.
with a Merton Hanks neck, but longer.
Yeah. They're like, "Okay, you throw a lot of interceptions, so you're going to be our quarterback one." And we're going to sign this guy that we had to convert to a tight end just to keep him in the league, but we're going to have him as your backup quarterback, Jeff Driscoll.
Yeah. Mhm. Gosh.
Louisiana Tech legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're going to bench you for Jeff Driscoll because you actually were starting to be good. And then
Makes sense.
You know, professional sports better be careful because they are falling off a cliff right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
the NBA is
Yeah.
unwatchable.
They keep showing signs of like little kids that are showing up to see their favorite player at a basketball game, and that player is not playing that night.
Yeah. Load management.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I
like
mean,
that's the
it's-
reason Michael Jordan is the GOAT because he
Right.
was always under the impression of, hey, somebody might be here to see me for the first time. So if I'm not legitimately injured, I'm playing.
Yeah. I mean, you think if one of the coaches went to Jordan and said, "Hey, I need you to take off tonight for the load management," he'd be laughing in their face that I'm playing.
Jordan would have told them to F off.
Right.
Like Jordan came back from a severely broken ankle and basically told Jerry Krause, "Hey, dude, I'm going to get us to the playoffs on one leg. Screw your load management." And went off for 60 on the Celtics in the first round. I mean, they ended up getting swept,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
Noah and Ryan, whenever they're pulling people in the 5th inning for pitch count. He had games where he threw 240 pitches on 3 days rest, pitched for 20 years with like 8 no-hitters.
And still throwing cheese. I mean, I bet he could get up there and throw cheese to this day.
Oh, he did. He threw out the first pitch late last season. Got there and he threw gas. I'm absolutely positive he could strike out somebody.
The Rangers are like, hey, you still available?
Yeah.
The Astros.
Or
the Astros, yeah.
If Michael Jordan wants to, come down for Charlotte and play a game or two, I'd be glad. Dude, that's terrible.
Yeah. I saw him on a cruise ship at like 50, just cutting people up. Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous, like this load management stuff and
analytics,
and the NBA is probably the worst at it, but baseball is just so antiquated, like people can't relate to it anymore, and it's slow. The NFL is still pretty good. The NFL is still pretty good. Still a lot of good storylines. I mean, when they added the 7th team to the playoffs, I thought that was going to be the death blow. I was like, oh god, now everybody's going to get in. But we had a lot of teams still playing relevant football late in the season, which is something that doesn't usually happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, usually they take
playing
a week
for
off.
seeding and like not as many guys were resting because everybody's playing for that bye.
And we're about 3 weeks away from college baseball season.
Yeah.
And
Ping!
Yeah, Jeb's Tennessee Vols got like Manny Ramirez's son to commit.
Yeah.
Did y'all see the rankings that just came out? The SEC is just loaded in those top 25 rankings.
Yeah, it's like top 7 of the top 10 or something. 7 of the top 10.
Yeah, it's
some
impressive.
insane amount. Yeah, Ole Miss has a true freshman pitcher named Grayson Saunier who throws like 96, 97, and it has 4 pitches. Yeah.
Oh god, that's not fair.
Yeah,
really.
he's got a little bit of gas, and then they got the little crafty lefty coming in there at about 88 miles an hour that nobody can hit.
Probably throwing a pitch that probably everything he throws moves significantly in one direction or the other.
I'm looking forward. Couple of transfers. They got one from Tulane, one from Northwestern to replace that. I'm looking forward to see what the team have, and potentially the first pick in the Major League Baseball draft at shortstop, Jacob Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all.
Who has a first pick this year?
I'm guessing White Sox because they always do.
Yeah. They had a good
Something like
team.
that, doesn't it?
It seems like every time you look at it, that is either them or Milwaukee or Kansas City or somebody. And
it doesn't matter because Milwaukee was good this year, but they always find some way to make a trade somewhere.
Although, can we just say the Milwaukee Brewers logo from the 80s was absolute fire?
Yeah, and I'm glad they kind of brought it back, didn't they?
Yeah, they're trying to bring it back, but yes.
They need to just commit to it
That
and
little
bring it
beat.
back.
The Pirates is the one that had the first pick, so he's probably going to be a Pirate.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Which they should have
That
never
was
gotten rid of the painter caps.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's weird that the Pittsburgh Pirates. No Pirates in Pittsburgh.
You're right. Yeah.
That's like Nebraska seafood.
Is there any Royals in Kansas City?
George Brett. Lord.
Yeah.
Lord.
Lord George Brett. There's Marlins in Miami.
Yeah.
Offshore, but are they in U.S.? Are they close enough to be in U.S. waters though?
It doesn't matter because you get in a deep sea fishing charter from Miami to go catch marlin, so that works.
Right. That's perfect.
The Atlanta Braves, that works.
Yeah. The
Washington Nationals.
The Tampa Bay Rays, so you can either do it through Sunshine, which we absolutely have, or what they were originally named for with Devil Rays, the actual Devil Ray, which they have those as well. So that one works.
Those are plentiful on the Gulf Coast.
Mm-hmm.
What's a San Diego? What's a Padre?
Father. like
father.
a month.
Okay,
Yeah.
so send. Okay,
Yeah,
send
so
in
that fits because there was
Yep.
that whole thing.
What's an Astro?
Right.
An
I feel like
Astro,
there has to be something.
Houston, we have a
Astronaut?
problem.
You know those guys that fly up into
astronaut.
space.
Oh, okay. That
The
that
Texas
makes sense.
Rangers might be one of the most fitting because
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
state troopers.
Yeah.
Let's see. You have the Los Angeles Dodgers, which they were the Brooklyn Dodgers, which means they were draft Dodgers. That's what that kind of is, right?
Mhm.
Isn't that what the Steve? You were around when they made that name.
Seattle
Seems a weird thing
Mariners. Yeah.
It's a weird thing to celebrate. But
The Mariners.
I don't know what a Mariner
I mean,
is.
That's on the ocean. That's like a
Yeah,
sailor.
yeah, Maritime.
Yeah,
that
it
makes
works
sense.
for Seattle.
Yeah.
The Yankees.
Yeah, it
Well,
makes
they're
sense.
they're up north, so
Yeah, the Yankees. The
And then you
Red
got Red
Sox
Sox
and
and
the
White
White
Sox.
Sox. Like,
Yeah.
what?
And the Red
no.
Stockings, the Cincinnati Red Stockings.
It's just the Reds now. Yeah.
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 So,
But yeah,
Cubs.
but
They
they
did
were the
like-
first team, so they didn't know how to name teams back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just whatever
And
you were
every-
wearing that day.
Yeah.
Look at his Red Sox. That's what we'll call
The
it.
Red Sox versus the White Sox. That's our game.
Yeah.
Yes, they didn't want to do shirts and skins, I guess.
I was gonna say shirts and skins.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see. The
Oh,
St.
we get
Louis
hit.
Cardinals. That's just lazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just think of a bird. The Brewers,
Cleveland
Milwaukee
Guardians.
Brewers.
They made Milwaukee's best up there.
That's it's a brew town, so that makes
Yeah,
sense.
that
Makes
makes
total sense.
I think that we got all baseball names. I don't know how this
Yeah,
happened.
it's MLB After Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Detroit Tigers, because
Yeah.
tigers are plentiful in Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That,
All
that might
over
be
up
even,
there. Yeah.
Lions,
that might be even
Tigers.
lazier. That might be
Yeah.
even lazier than the St. Louis Cardinals.
The Minnesota
let's-
Twin Cities. That
Yeah,
works.
Twins. Yeah, that works.
Perfect.
Makes total sense.
Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, another
Yeah.
lazy one.
Uh,
That's a lazy one.
Well, I mean, they may be real popular up there. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But one of the most fitting ones is the Montreal Expos. They had that big expo fair up there in Montreal. The World's
Not no
Fair.
more.
or whatever.
Not no more.
Not no more. The Expos
and then
are
they
no
became
more.
the Washington Nationals.
Which they should have just went back to Senators. The Washington
Right.
Senators.
Yeah.
Because that made more sense. Washington's not doing well with their sports names here.
No.
Nationals or
Commanders.
Commanders.
I like the Commanders. I don't care what anybody
Yeah.
says.
It's better than the
that-
football team.
Yeah, I mean,
It's better than
their
the
logo.
Cleveland Guardians.
The one thing they should have done, and they wouldn't do it because they were just attached to those colors.
Yeah.
They should have changed it to that Army camouflage green, and just done green and yellow. And the Commanders, that would have been absolutely fire.
No, but
I could see that.
I mean, if they redid the colors, I guess that matters. But
Yeah, the color's the problem. Like when they wore their all black uniforms, man, those are good.
I just felt like they had 2 years to come up with something. I felt like Washington football team was better than after 2 years they come up with that. They come up with that. Like, come on now. Like that's just what have you been doing for 2 years? Oh, trying to delete all of Dan Snyder's emails.
Seriously.
yeah.
That's what you've been trying to do, and covering up his sexual assault stuff with the cheerleaders.
Hey Jake, does
Yeah.
Jeremy Pruitt have a show calls? Michael Specs is asking that in the chat.
Yeah. I hadn't heard anything. There's talks about it. Supposedly he's supposed to meet with the SEC, or the NCAA Monday, but I never heard anything about that. It might be this coming Monday. I'm not sure.
Oh, maybe that's what they're waiting on for the hire.
Right.
Find out what. Okay.
It was very odd with him having to leave and all those kids just running from Tennessee in the wake of that. I don't know. I don't know what happened there.
Right before they made it legal too. If he could have just held on,
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the worst part.
he could have given it to him out in the open.
All this crap we got into because of Kiffin and Pruitt, and it's all legal now.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw on Twitter that there was a person from McDonald's that accidentally got a bag with $50,000 in a McDonald's bag in a drive-through, and the kid gave it back, and somebody
Wow.
said, "Well, Tennessee's at it again."
That's good.
I love that.
Yeah. Thanks, Pruitt. It's awesome.
Ooh, let's jump to our next topic. Stetson Bennett has declined the Senior Bowl.
Really?
Jordan Battle did as well for us.
Yeah,
So.
he declined the Senior Bowl, which I think is not the greatest of moves for him.
I was gonna say that when you're really trying to get yourself drafted.
The thing about Battle is there's rumors he may come back because he's got his COVID year. So
Well, that deadline's already passed, hasn't he?
I thought it has, but there's talk about it. But I think the deadline's already passed for that.
Nah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So Stetson, I guess, is scared to go to the Senior Bowl.
Or he just wants to train for his pro day, I guess. I don't know.
Or maybe he's bought a BMW plant, you know.
That's concerning.
We have a chance this year for the Super Bowl winning quarterback to be younger than the college football playoff winning quarterback.
That's good.
That's why you should be rooting for the 49ers.
There you go.
Come on, Steve.
The 49ers, everybody but Patrick Mahomes fills that bill.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, how old's Jalen Hurts?
Like younger.
Joe Burrow
So is Joe Burrow.
How old's Joe Burrow? 24?
Yeah, he's not 48 like Stetson Bennett.
Bennett's older than Brady. Yeah.
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 Probably why he's not playing in the Senior Bowl because
Hurts is 24.
maybe he thought it was like the actual the senior tour for golf, but for football. Maybe that's what he thought it was.
I mean,
but it's there.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson's been in the league for like 6 years, and he's still younger than Stetson Bennett. I mean, it's wow.
Nuts, man.
I mean, it's wild.
Joe Burrow's
How?
26.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we're
Burrow's
not rooting
26.
for Cincinnati. So Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes.
I'm older. I am older than Stetson Bennett. I do these State Farm commercials with Andy, Coach Reed, and they are really good.
You sound like Kermit the Frog.
I thought Kermit the Frog too.
Yeah.
Oh, I am Patrick Mahomes. I'm getting ready for my game this weekend.
Yeah.
Kermit the Frog here.
Hey, Patrick Mahomes here. I'm just trying to get ready for to throw passes to. It's gone off there.
Whatever you tried to do and adjust it, you made it more Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, I need to go more raspy with that.
Oh Lord.
I should have just stuck with the basic. I went too far. I should have stuck with one sentence instead. I went for the paragraph, and it got away from me.
Okay. Patrick Mahomes was drafted in 2017, and he's only 2 years older than Stetson Bennett. He's 27.
Hey, Kirby. Honestly, I would not get your hopes up about Igmanosin or and obviously Tyseem Johnson. He committed to Oregon. I've heard rumors of Igmanosin in Tennessee.
Oh wow!
So
Who's Igmanosin?
yeah,
I guess I should
he's
know
good.
that.
Jeb, you supposed to be on this.
Yeah,
Come on now.
yeah.
Come on, Jeb.
Igmanosin.
Come on, Jeb.
Nice. We definitely need that.
Yeah, you need somebody to back up Nico Imahawala.
I'm a Liava.
I'm a
Liava. I'm gonna get. Oh,
There is a rumor that whoever loses the battle, QB battle at Alabama, is going to transfer to Ole Miss. So
just because Ole Miss needs more quarterbacks. Is that what we're deciding?
and I think y'all getting Brock Vandegrift too. That's what I heard.
right, yeah.
There's that gif on Twitter of like Lane Kiffin deciding if he needs a QB4, and it's that Matthew McConaughey thing with a cigarette, just looking at the phone. Just
Yeah. Yes. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, anyway.
So where does
Stetson
Stetson Bennett get? Where does he get drafted?
Honestly, my opinion on that is if Will Levis is good enough to be the fourth quarterback in the draft, Stetson Bennett's good enough for the first 3 rounds.
Will Levis is being projected at 4th round. First pick, round 4, or fourth pick in the first round. I mean, come on.
Second quarterback taken.
Yeah.
I've seen Will Levis as the first quarterback taken by the Texans at number 2, and then Bryce Young at number 4 to the Colts.
Yeah.
If
Will
you pass
Levis is going
Bryce,
to get a GM
Like
fired.
really?
Yeah, if you pick up Will Levis over C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young,
you know what, Jake? You better. I hope that happens because I think Indy's going to be in a much better situation.
Mhm.
Indy's got more pieces than Houston does. Like Houston, Bryce Young will get killed.
Yeah, and there is a rumor that the Bears they could trade out and Indiana could look at
I mean, if these mock drafts play out, Indy might not have to move.
right.
No, that's the genius that Steve was talking about him just ruining Texans, because the Texans had the number 1 pick. They dropped the 2. Now they're going to have to trade back to number 1 to make sure nobody jumps above them to get their quarterback. So
Right.
they're going to actually have to trade picks to get back to that 1 spot.
Because the Bears, if they stay at 1, they're drafting Will Anderson
Yeah.
or Jalen Carter. They're going to draft one of those two.
One of the two. Yep.
And then the Seahawks is going to get whoever, because the Seahawks got the Rams pick. The Rams pick would have been picking 3rd this year, but they're not.
That's amazing.
No, they got the Broncos pick. Seattle did.
Yeah.
So the Broncos would be
the
picking
Broncos were
3.
back.
It's the Lions picking at 5 via the Rams. They're getting, I think, Miles Murphy, maybe. I think is what I saw. But
They could use a QB though.
like
honestly.
I think the first 2 QBs in this draft should be without question, in whatever order, Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud. Like
Right.
that should be without question.
Mhm.
And then the rest, do with whatever you want to. It doesn't matter. But
I don't think everybody gives enough credence to the fact of how close we were for the Detroit Lions, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Cincinnati Bengals were all in the playoffs. We were so close to that.
It was wild.
yeah, and we were 1 game away from that happening because Seattle knocked Detroit out of the playoffs before Detroit kicked off their last game against Green Bay by beating the Rams. So the Rams screwed the Lions over, as they should. So so I don't know. Like Bryce Young not being the highest rated quarterback in this draft is asinine. I don't know what more he has to prove.
I think things will clear up a little bit as we get closer.
People
to
are
the draft.
scared of his size. Like that
His
doesn't
size.
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, Russell Wilson's been
wait,
successful.
But they took
He's
Kyler
talented.
Murray number 1, and he looks like Mario from Super Mario Brothers before he gets a mushroom.
But Kyler's also yeah, they're so great. But Kyler's also immature. Like Bryce Young has the mind of a 50-year-old
But
in the super athlete body.
but Bryce Young is going to measure at 6 foot. Kyler Murray is like 5'9".
Yeah.
No,
But it's not his height, it's gonna be the fact that he's real thin. Like he's real
Right.
thin. So I just people scared of Bryce Young's height obviously has not watched him play football.
Yeah, some of that may depend on his release and stuff, which I haven't really looked at. But I'm telling you, after the combine, this will all get ironed out.
Those guys find ways. Like
Right.
I think the Colts whenever they finally make their hire, I think they'll make the right move and they'll if they can get Bryce Young, they will get Bryce Young and they will make something happen with him. I think if they get Bryce Young, they re-sign Paris Campbell. You got Michael Pittman there. You've got a pretty decent offensive line that underachieved big time, but I think a lot of that was just scheme and a lot of that was Jeff Saturday just being completely overmatched.
Yeah.
As a head coach, that was kind of a disaster. But I think those guys just quit halfway through the season. You could see it. So, and if they don't want to trade away all their future, they could sit at number 4 and get C.J. Stroud and be just as happy. I think C.J. Stroud showed me something more than what I thought he had against Georgia. I mean, I was impressed. I was like, damn, this guy, we got lucky.
That was a dude. Yeah.
He's a dude.
Yeah.
He's a bona fide dude.
That game definitely improved his draft stock. Yes.
Absolutely. He's a dude. He might be the number. He could be, like, you could argue he could be the number 1 guy. But I don't know. After the way Houston did Lovie Smith, I hope they get this wrong and choose Will Levis.
Me too.
So Nick Casario, if you're listening to this show, Will Levis is the greatest quarterback in this draft.
And then Colts, you want Anthony Richardson. Sorry, they're in a division with Titans. Okay, I don't want them to get good.
No, because you already got the Jaguars who are
I
pretty dang
know,
good with Doug
which is
Peterson.
just weird.
The Titans are going to be third in the few years they don't straighten up.
Yeah.
No,
Jaguars
No,
are
they
about to be a
won't.
problem.
The Jaguars are going to be a
about
problem.
That's factual. But the Titans, I love the hire at GM for the Titans. I really do.
I was just reading about that. That's a good pick.
That guy is hustled his way. I mean, he's been really good in front office management. I mean, he's responsible for all the late round picks for the 49ers. So he's responsible for bringing in Brock Purdy.
I was going to say their drafts have been
And
good.
Jawan
Their
Jennings.
last draft was great.
All of the guys
they
they
Purdy quarterback.
he throws a Purdy ball, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Rand Carthon was, you know, if the reports are true, which I have no reason to doubt that they aren't, but he's responsible for rounds 5 through 7 and making the selections. John Lynch trusted him, said, here's the keys to the late rounds. You go find our guys. And he did.
By the way, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are about to just fall to pieces.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it.
Mike Evans may have to be traded, but
Steve, if it wasn't for the Bucks, I'd hate the Saints, but I hate the Bucks worse.
Titans are coming down here, I think, next year, so I might be going to a Bucks game.
that's right.
Well, man, that's a good reason to go to a Bucks game. But
That's a W at least. Maybe
Yeah, there you go.
now, if the Bucks get one of my fantasy players, I'll have to root for that fantasy player to do well. But you know how that goes.
Yeah, I think we're done with fantasy football.
Yeah. Our family's been doing it for years, but
See, I'm in a school league that's competitive. Like I won it last year, and this past season, I got knocked out in the playoffs. But I had a really good team up until like the end, and my team just kind of sputtered. When I lost Jamar Chase, I lost a lot of steam.
Yeah.
okay.
One of the ones I had Jamar Chase in, and I couldn't never recover. I did finish second in the league though, but
And then my dynasty team, I had Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, and Saquon Barkley, and Garrett Wilson, and
that's good.
still wasn't very good.
Oh.
wow.
My I couldn't get anything out of I had my quarterbacks. I had to sacrifice my quarterback position. My quarterbacks hadn't been right. We played a 2-quarterback league. I had Justin Fields and Matt Ryan because I had Matt Ryan for years. So,
Did you ever win?
what's that?
Did you ever win with Matt Ryan?
No, I won the year before I got Matt Ryan.
Well, there you go. That's the reason why you hadn't won in a while.
And I dropped him off my team, and then I started winning again.
There you go.
Hey, my dynasty
Might be
league got
something.
traded for Russell Wilson, so don't feel bad.
I traded
Yeah.
for Jared Goff. I was that desperate,
Oh,
but he
Yeah.
was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
He's a top 10 quarterback now. He's
Yeah.
legit. Talk about a good offense coordinator, Ben Johnson. Like Ben Johnson is so happy in Detroit that he didn't want to leave. He withdrew his name from all head coaching opportunities because he likes Dan the Man, MCDC.
Mm-hmm.
So Stetson Bennett, I honestly, I would love to see him drafted day 2, but realistically, he's a day 3 guy.
Round 5
Just-
through 7.
Yeah, I think he's 5th, 6th round probably. Somebody's going to say, hey, he won the national championship twice. He put up nice numbers. He's got, they're going to look at him as a solid backup and somebody that could come in a pinch. And he's got a lot of moxie. And I don't know. I mean, I don't think he'll go undrafted, but I don't think he's going to be a day 2 guy. His size is a
I was gonna say,
problem.
he's pretty small too, isn't he?
His hand size, I think, might end up being like there's a reason he's not playing in the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
And it's not just because he doesn't want to.
So after Bryce, CJ Stroud, Will Levis, and Anthony Richardson, who are the other quarterbacks?
Hendon Hooker will go probably.
Hooker.
Okay, Hooker. Okay.
Well, I mean, but he's injured and not got all of the measurable, so he'll be a later one, but still.
Hendon will be a day 2 guy.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe 3rd round. I was thinking 5th for Benson.
Here's a name to look out for. Cameron Ward out of Washington State.
That's a good
I
one.
thought he was going back to school.
Is he?
Yeah, last I heard he was going back to school. But I like Cam Ward. That's actually a good under the radar pick.
Yeah.
You think Jaden Daniels will get drafted?
No, he's going to Rice, ain't he?
Oh, did he transfer?
No, that's JT Daniels. Sorry.
JT Daniels taking his 8th year of eligibility.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
You have Jaron Hall from BYU. I think Will Rogers will be a sneaky one.
I forgot about Will Rogers.
Jake Haener. Jake Haener he's ranked 212, but I think he's a competitive guy from Fresno State. Yeah, I liked his tape. I don't know how much of an impact he'll make, but he could be that late round guy that could surprise some people.
See, I thought Will Rogers was going back to school.
He's listed on this. He's listed on this prospect rankings for quarterback, and unless they, Cameron Ward's still listed, so I don't know. Let me look at further into that.
I was gonna say it might be when it was done too.
I think this was done recently. Cameron Ward news. Cameron Rising's returning for his senior year. That might be. I'm gonna look at the Saints quarterback prospects, who they should get after the first round. This will give us an answer. This was written January 4th.
Mm-hmm.
So the prospects they're saying the number 1 guy is Hendon Hooker, which I think would be a great pick.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
They want to get that BYU connection with Jaron Hall. He's 13-6 and 19 starts, dual threat guy. Turns 25 years old, veteran. But Zach Wilson kind of ruined his stock a little bit. Cameron Ward out of Washington State, and then Clayton Tune out of Houston.
That'd be a good pick for New Orleans.
Yeah.
Clayton
of course,
Tune.
it doesn't matter because Dennis Allen is terrible.
You still got that nightmare.
Yeah.
But I think Stetson will be a good late round guy for somebody. I think he'll add some value. He's a smart guy, savvy, competitive. I just don't think he's going to be a starter in the league. I really don't. I love the kid to death. I've doubted him all throughout his college career until the last I didn't jump fully aboard the Stetson train until after the Orange Bowl. I was like, okay, this guy's freaking serious. Because up until the Orange Bowl, after that SEC championship, I was like, what? This guy's reached the ceiling. And then this year, I was like, okay, Stetson is going to take us back to back.
All right, Corey, take us out of here. We're over an hour.
We are over an hour, but that's okay. This is NFL, MLB, and SEC After Dark. Bill Bryan off to a new home in New England. Stetson Bennett, he's a day 3 guy. We'll look to add to your rosters. Don't put him on your fantasy team just yet. Lots of great things happening, guys. It's going to be an exciting offseason. It's going to be an exciting basketball season for these two down here on the bottom row. Not so exciting for this guy to my, I guess, screen left. Yeah, something like that. It's going to be a better season basketball for this guy, but not quite the level of these two. So that being said, for Jake, Jeb, and Steve, I'm Corey. This is SEC After Dark, presented by BetOnline, presented by the Bleav Network and the Y'all's Conference Network. We thank you for joining us. We hope you join us again. Like and subscribe. Find us on YouTube if you haven't already. We will sing Buddy Holly lyrics to you if you request it, especially Jeb. And we'll see you back here next week. Same time, same channel, unless I request another Thursday show, which probably won't happen for a while. So long, and go Dogs.
Go Big Orange.
Roll Tide.
Speaking of which, Bama's clawing their way back in this game.